Given that 75% of Africa's biodiversity is still intact, how do we ensure that carbon markets respond to this through carbon credits and biodiversity credits? So it's a great pleasure to welcome to the stage Minister Samuel Jinapor, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources from Ghana, who's also the co-chair of the FCLP, Stephanie Mbombo, the special to get us started on this conversation of scaling forest carbon markets and how to create value out of nature economies will be Minister Samuel Jinapor sharing with us some of the work that has been done with FCLP in Africa and forests and carbon markets. Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, esteemed delegates and fellow advocates for our planet's well-being, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I bring you warm greetings from my co-chair of the Forest and Climate Leadership Partnership, Secretary John Kerry, the United States Presidential Envoy on Climate, who is here to join us. And today, we stand at a critical stage in our shared history. The world is grappling with a climate emergency, as we all know, marked by the intensification of extreme weather events that defy predictability. Persistent deforestation threatens irreversible damage to forests and biodiversity hotspots. It is with a sense of urgency that the Africa Climate Summit has brought us together to address this among other pressing challenges. To begin, ladies and gentlemen, the role of preserving, restoring, and sustainably managing our forests has become paramount in our global mission to mitigate the far-reaching consequences of climate change. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, for example, has in its report recounted the important role of forests and nature to achieving a 1.5-degree world. They actually contribute a third of the solution, as you may be aware. The gravity of this situation has been underscored by the Glasgow Leaders' Declaration, GLD, to halt and reverse forest loss by 2030, which emerged out of COP26 in Glasgow and signed by over 140 countries. This declaration reaffirms our collective commitment to halt and reverse the loss of forests and the degradation of our lands by 2030, and stands as a commitment intertwined with our pursuit of sustainable development objectives, culminating in the historic establishment of the Forest and Climate Leadership Partnership, FCLP, as a functional vehicle to achieve the GLD targets. It is important to acknowledge that the potential of carbon markets, both voluntary and compliance for forests, has long been underestimated and hugely critiqued for methodical inconsistencies in recent times. However, let us consider the REDD+ intervention, a brainchild of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, in Article 5 of the Paris Agreement. This initiative has translated into concrete gains, as seen in my own country, Ghana's receipt of $4.8 million United States dollars from the Carbon Fund for its first round of $50 million United States dollars, and Brazil's impressive $96.5 million United States dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, these figures underscore the tangible progress made by nations committed to combating deforestation and the impact these funds can make to increase efforts to continually reduce forest loss. As the era of Article 6 of the Paris Agreement blooms into action, its provisions even empower nations to leverage carbon markets to support their NDC achievement at a high level with the right frameworks as Ghana has pioneered to develop. The carbon market, once underestimated, now commands our attention as a vital tool in our climate arsenal with the right partnerships and collaborations. During discussions held in Bonn and Accra this year by the FCLP on Action Area 5, strengthening and scaling high-integrity forest actions, the members and partners of the FCLP illuminated obstacles that hinder financing for forest carbon credits, diverse and low pricing structures, standard-specific changing requirements for safeguards and MRVs, negative perceptions surrounding these credits, a considerable lack of appreciation of the supply side efforts by the demand side, and the slow rate of signing of transactions were identified as significant challenges to this market. In response, the FCLP is outlining a strategic roadmap, placing emphasis on defining high-integrity forest carbon credit supply and demand and fostering capacity building within its Action Area 5. Ladies and gentlemen, subsequently, a working group co-led jointly by Ghana, Gabon, Guyana, and the United Kingdom has recently been formed to address these issues. With the commitment of numerous nations, this group is poised to unveil a roadmap and strategy for fortifying and expanding forest carbon credits by COP28 and COP30. This roadmap will be actionable and encompass far-reaching actions, including a strategic communications campaign to highlight the profound role of forests in global climate regulation, midterm actions to bolster high-integrity forest carbon finance, which includes a holistic readiness to resource-based payment capacity building support across different standards and requirements, and the announcement of forest carbon resource finance transactions spurred by FCLP member support and engagements by COP28. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, I'm elated and privileged to announce the launch of the FCLP Working Group on strengthening the supply and demand of high-integrity forest carbon credits. We are resolved to collaborate with strategic partners, both public and private, to achieve success in this working group, as partnership will be instrumental in realizing the transformative actions we envisage for our roadmap. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, the FCLP extends its heartfelt gratitude to all those who stand united in this noble cause and calls on all relevant stakeholders in the space to join this action. Together, we can usher in a new era of sustainable forest management and climate resilience for global climate action with the right price for actions to reduce forest loss and improve local community livelihoods. I thank you for your attention.